Okay, so I just wanted to do a quick follow-up post, just following up the post about the feedback from Katrina McHugh MBE from Open Clasp. I've now received the feedback from the first draft of the script from Tess Hudson, the development worker from Real Crisis that we've been working with throughout the project, and I just wanted to share some of the feedback that she given and sort of talk about the ideas that I now have for the script going into the second draft writing. Okay, so I'll just say that I will put the feedback in this post as well. I'll put a picture of it like I did with the other post, and I'll just talk very briefly about about some aspects of the feedback. Tess really liked the piece. She felt that it was a very strong first draft, which I was very happy about. I take that compliment very much. She also said that the storyline between Sophie and Johnny was very believable, and sort of the evolution of their story was very believable, which I was really happy about, because I was really afraid that particularly their story might come across as being perhaps over dramatic or somehow not very natural, and it was nice to have Tess say to me, no, that was really good. She really liked that. I was glad that she really liked the dialogue. She used the zippy dialogue, which I really like. I really like the idea of the dialogue not seeming dull or not seeming so dark all the time. It's nice to think there are moments of humour that I wanted to include, especially after watching Open Clasp's Key Change. I really wanted to put that sort of humour in there, and it's nice that humour has been picked up upon by Tess. I really wanted Tess to like this draft because Tess has been with us from the very beginning of the project. She supported the project from the start, and I really wanted to make sure that she liked the script, because she works with people who have unfortunately had to experience the things that we are writing about, and I really wanted to make sure that my writing of the piece was the best that it could be, and I knew that the best that it could be would be based on both Katrina McHugh's feedback, of course, but also on her feedback, because she deals with this all the time, and I really wanted to be able to say Tess really liked it, and she's a worker from Rare Crisis, and I really wanted her support with the first draft, so to have that positive feedback was really good. Now we go on to some of the sort of constructive criticism of the piece, which is also always helpful. I think that's actually more helpful than positive feedback, because it helps me to improve the script to a higher level. As I've said all the way through, that's what I wanted to do. She said that she felt that the relationship, well, not the relationship, because it's not a relationship, but the sort of the way that the story goes between Poppy and Jake isn't exactly believable. She said there was something missing with the way that as soon as the attack has happened, he offers her money to keep her quiet. Now, I included that based on an article that I read about this kind of thing. That was it was sort of said by a lecturer at Northumbria that this kind of thing happens probably a lot more than we realise. But then equally, Tess sort of said that it wasn't entirely believable, because a sexual predator has probably done this to multiple people, and she found the idea of him offering her money straight away like that not to be very believable. And she sort of said, if someone who is a predator had done this multiple times, it would be very expensive. And I think she's probably right about that. I think Katrina McHugh kind of had the feedback, the constructive criticism from her was in a similar vein. She wasn't entirely sure about that part of the story. She also, like Tess, actually wasn't sure of either. She wasn't sure of the scene between her mother and her mother, Joni, and Poppy. She wasn't sure that she really believed that a mother would say to her daughter, take the money. She wasn't sure about that. She wasn't entirely sure that would be believable. And also Katrina McHugh from Open Clasp felt that as well. So what I've decided to do, all the kind of ideas that I have going into the writing of the draft 2 of the script, I'm going to change the sort of outcome of the story for Poppy and Jake. I am going to do it so that the assault happens, and then he kind of convinces her that nobody will believe her, rather than offering her money. We'll still have a scene with her mother, hopefully trying to comfort her and things like that. But I think, based on the fact that I've had two completely separate people give me feedback, and they've both been in the same vein as each other, very similar to each other, I think it's very important to take notice of that and to say, well, there's obviously a reason for that, and that's something that I need to work on in the next draft of the script. I think changing the storyline so that he convinces her that she will not be believed is more believable, and I think to an audience they would go, I kind of recognise this, I kind of understand the behaviour of this man and why he's behaving this way. He's doing it to make sure that she feels that she would not be believed, and it also plays into the idea of the power relationship. So I sort of thought that this actually, now that I've kind of had this feedback, it's made me think back again on the power relationship between the two of them, and it's kind of made me think, well, actually, if he makes her feel as though she cannot report it, I think that would be sort of one of the ultimate acts that he commits against her that makes him the more powerful out of the relationship, and how he manipulates that power to make, how he could rather manipulate that power to make Poppy feel as if she wouldn't be believed. And I think, to be honest, now I'm looking at it, that probably is a more possibly relatable, more, I would say, maybe just a better sort of way for their story to go, rather than the idea of sort of him offering her money. I mean, like I say, it's interesting because during the research I found that article that said that probably happened more often than not. But then equally, what we've got to think about is that we're putting on a production about, it's a difficult subject matter enough, dealing with, sexual assault at universities. But ultimately, I want the play to be believable, because I feel like if it's not believable, then people are going to turn off straight away, and the whole point of the production might be lost. And that's exactly what I don't want to happen. And I think it's important that it's believable for this very reason. And I think it's important that I take on the feedback from both Tess and Katrina and think, okay, obviously there's not something quite right about this bit of the script. We need to go back over it. And that's kind of the idea that I'm going with so far. I am now that I've got both sets of feedback, I am going to start in earnest to sort of editing the script and making the second draft. I will be putting Tess's feedback on the written script, on the script rather that I have written Katrina's feedback on, so that when you look in the booklet that's submitted with this blog, you can see both Katrina's feedback and Tess's feedback on a copy of the script. And I'm hopefully very soon, it'll probably be in the next couple of days, I'm going to start editing the second draft of the production, which is very exciting. I'm very glad that we're getting to that point now. It's great that I've got both sets of feedback, and it's great actually that they've been, both very positive, but both have that same constructive criticism in the same vein of the story, which is very helpful to me, because that highlights part of the story to me that needs to be changed and needs to be reworked. And that makes my job as a writer much easier, because I know what I need to improve and I know what's effective. So I just wanted to do a quick update just after getting Tess's feedback. I will be starting in earnest to edit and begin the second writing of the second draft of the script very soon, and I will let you know what kind of happens as we go further into the process. So I'll be back with the next post. Thank you very much.